Now we're going to look at some of those parameters, okay, that regulates our concrete. Okay, we are expected to have certain points or certain reasons why we produce our concrete for construction purpose. Okay, so we need to have some of these informations, okay, to guide us, in order for us to have a more durable durable concrete. Okay, so let's look at some of those parameters. Now, first, we'll look at the compressive strength. Okay, the compressive strength. All right, as you know, concrete is good in compression. All right, it is very, very good in compression. All right, so we try as much as possible to evaluate the compressive strength of concrete. Now, this strength varies based on their different mixed ratios. Okay, so when we talk about concrete grades, okay, we are trying to now have an overview of the various strengths, okay, various strengths based on their individual mixed ratios. All right, so that is being tagged as concrete grades. All right, so this concrete grades talks about the compressive strength of concrete. All right, for instance, if we have a mixture of maybe 1, 2, 4, okay, this is a ratio. It means that this is cement, okay, this is sand, and this is maybe granite. Okay, this is granite. Then we also have, let's say 1:3, let's say 1:1.5:3. Okay, this also is for cement. Okay, this is for sand, this is for aggregate. Now you see that these are ratios. So with these ratios, you can be able to proportion, okay, bring the individual ingredients together to form the concrete, and this is what guides the various quantities. Now if you look at these two now, you see that the strength that will be obtained from this will be higher than the strength obtained from this ratio. Okay, so also you can have 1:3:6. All right, so you can see that the ratio or the strength that you get from this ratio will be higher than the strength you get from this mixed ratio. All right, so now these ratios are being guided by what we refer to as concrete grade. Okay, concrete grade. Now this concrete grade now talks about the compressive strength. All right, then we also have what we refer to as flexural strength. All right, we also have what we call flexural strength. Okay, flexural strength has to also do with the strength of the concrete. Okay, in this case now you're trying to test it, test the ability to withstand bending. Okay, to withstand bending. That has to do with the flexural strength. All right, so the different grades also respond differently to flexion, okay, to bending. All right, when we talk about flexion means bending. All right, so that is that. The another parameter we are going to look at is workability. Okay, workability is another parameter that we need to look at when we are talking about concrete. Now, workability has to do with the ease at which concrete can be worked upon. All right, let me bring it down. Workability is when you place your concrete, okay, the people placing or people working on that concrete, you see that when they put their rammer or whatever, the concrete flows on its own. They don't exert much pressure, okay, in placing that concrete. All right, so that is what we refer to as workability. All right, so workability now differs, in our concrete based on their different strength, and this is measured by your slump test. Okay, the slump value, you get your slump value from your slump test. All right, so you see that we have in some cases different structural components have their various slump value. Okay, and this is gotten from slump test. Slump test is what you use to check for the workability of your concrete. Okay, so it's important we look carefully in this regard, because most times you see that these they are inversely proportional in most cases. They are inversely proportional in the sense that when you have higher workability, okay, when you have higher workability, it leads to lower strength, okay, lower strength, and vice versa, okay, vice versa. When you have higher, okay, you have lower workability. Okay, so this is also a parameter we can use to to assess our concrete. All right, the performance of our concrete. Okay, to assess the performance of concrete. The performance of concrete. Now, another parameter that we are going to look at is the setting time. Okay, now we have the initial setting time, okay, which is within 30 minutes. Okay, that is when our initial setting time, because concrete remains in its plastic state. What I mean plastic state, it remains in that state that you can be able to manipulate it to any shape. Okay, that is what we refer to as green state. Okay, after that period, it starts. That is when its initial setting time starts. Okay, before it progresses to final setting time. All right, so we use the setting time to also evaluate our concrete. Okay, it's very, very important. Okay, so these are some of the parameters that we use to assess or to look at the performance of our concrete. So I deem it necessary to bring this way so we can be able to understand and to also have this in mind when we are dealing with our concrete. Okay, so please